are to vote for? Blood and fire? And mockery? And comedy? You know, it's a very unserious party. The PNP is a very unserious set of people. And I am still holding out some hope. I am holding out a little hope that I will hear something coming out of the People's National Party that resembles Michael Manley or Norman Washington Manley. Even Portia was better than this. Huh? This nonsense, man. We need to call it out for what it is. It is backwardness. It is backwardness. And you know, you people out there who are being spoken down to, because that's what they're doing, you know. They're speaking down to you. They're not having a conversation with you. They're not reasoning with you. They're not telling you anything that is going to enhance your life. And Mr. Crawford, I'm going to spend one evening talking to you, sir. You're losing your mind, man. You can't give a speech, Mr. Crawford, a reasonable speech, sir. You can't stand up on the stage and just be reasonable one day. You're going to go halfway through, go wipe your glass. It's a comedy boss you run, sir. You, Mr. Crawford, man, we expect better than that from you, Rasta. Rasta, man, we expect better than that from you, man. Yeah? In Rasta, and also Rasta conscious, you know, man. Rasta conscious, man. Come on, Dread. Dread, what take you, man? What take you? Eh? You're not a man with smoke, man. You know, you're man, you drink? You drink, sir? Or you smoke? Because you're not sounding coherent at all. You have some little ideas there, sir. But they're not coherent. You're not putting them together. You're putting them together with the comedy. And people are not taking you serious. Mr. Crawford, you want to become the Minister of Education, you know, sir. Education is a serious thing, you know. We need to take you serious, man. Cha, man. This let me down, man. I thought you would have done better than this by now, man. You're gonna come to talk to me about the extra 2 hours that you are Anyway, we have a forecast for you tonight. It's 20 minutes to 9 o'clock, and we are already going late. We have the forecast online. Good evening to you. Good evening to you, Casey. Good night to you, 1T. How you doing? Thank you so much. Casey, open your microphone. Let's go.
Hello. Good night.
Yeah, Casey, are you there?
Yes, neighbor, I'm right here.
Yeah, not hearing you so well.
Neighbor, you hearing me?
I'm hearing you a little better. Let me turn this up a little better. Sorry. Yes, are you there now, Casey?
Yes, I'm right here. How are you?
Why not doing too bad. The elections are in high gear, Casey. The people are anticipating the work that you have been doing over the last couple of weeks. We are going to tell the listeners tonight if an election was being called today, the 31st of July, what would be the possible result? In other words, as a forecaster, you're going to be able to tell us that tonight. Not true, sir?
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. All right. Because we are starting late, I'm sure that you have much more work there to present than what we can handle. But do you want to just give us a little synopsis of what it is that you have prepared for us tonight?
Yes, Neighbor, as you say, the election campaign is in a high gear. There are numerous battles going on. The parish of Manchester is very hot, so too is the parish of St. Mary, as
Yes.
well as the West, Westmoreland and Hanover. Those are the four hottest parish. And St. Thomas too, St. Thomas will join that queue as a hotly contested parish. And Eastern St. Thomas, as we all expected, is hot. But surprisingly, Western St. Thomas, the temperature have turned up more than a notch. And it seems to be a battle down there between James Robertson and Hubert Williams. However, I still have James Robertson in the safe column, but it's really hot, neighbor, and it's all to everybody know what they have to play for, and the PNP is giving it their best shot. People like you can get angry all you want because they're trying to make it a base election. That's their best chance. They're not trying to appeal to everybody because they will not beat the JLP at that.
Okay. Well, that's a fantastic introduction. All right.
Yes.
What I'm going to do is that I'm going to just call the seats, and you are just going to tell us the three categories that they are in, whether they are Labour, PNP, or
Hey, good night, Alor and Alicia.
or you're going to leave them in the battleground category. All 63 you want to go through as quickly as we can. So listeners, here are the results of the constituencies based on the Politics Plus forecast. Want to say thanks to those persons who chipped in to make this happen for us tonight. You know yourselves. Thank you so much. Let us start in Portland tonight, Casey. In Eastern Portland, where Anne-Marie Vaz is Member of Parliament. How do you see East Portland tonight?
It's a battle, you know, it's a battle for Eastern Portland, and it will be a battle right down to the wire. People will be battling for vote, but I think Anne-Marie Vaz have the number. She maintained her traction, and regardless of whatever traction ISAT is getting from the long-time PNPs in Eastern Portland, too much of the PNP have switched for Isaac Buchanan to get a positive result. And Anne-Marie Vaz is keeping her support, and she is a clear winner in Portland Eastern. It's a safe JLP seat going into the election.
All right. So Anne-Marie Vaz is expected to hold on to East Portland. What about West Portland, where Daryl Vaz is the Minister of Transport?
That's West Portland, and that is Daryl Vaz, the
Yes.
man who is championing transportation and energy, one of the most important ministers in the political season, because energy and transportation have been a breadwinner in this election for the Jamaica Labour Party, for the governing party. So Daryl Vaz, a very important man, is not losing. Doreen Canberra has no chance of beating Daryl Vaz, and that's why Daryl has been chosen to lead the charge nationally for the JLP. He is actually touring numerous constituencies with other candidates who are in a closer seat. West Portland is safe.
In other words, when we see Daryl Vaz all over the island, is an indication of the strength of his seat.
Yes, definitely.
All right, fantastic. So that's two all for the Labour Party in Portland. The Labour Party is winning Portland 2-0. Let's jump up to St. Mary, and we are in southeastern St. Mary. We are Norman Dunn is the candidate. Is Norman Dunn winning back southeastern St. Mary?
As we know, neighbor, earlier this year and last year, the PNP got some traction in St. Mary and seemed to be very strong. But I think they started to celebrate too soon. And what they did, instead of sneaking through the back door, I think they hyped up the campaigns in St. Mary and probably alerted the likes of Bobby Montague and Norman Dunn. Say, hey, look, we're coming for your seat. And they have awakened the dragon. And in Norman Dunn, that's a dragon that is burning the green fire in Southeast St. Mary, and I don't think Christopher Brown can hold on. Christopher Brown challenge will not be strong enough to stave off Norman Dunn. Norman Dunn is going for a third term.
Wow. Okay, so that's 3 seats covered so far. The Labour Party is winning all 3. What about Central St. Mary?
Central St. Mary, that's a strong PNP seat, and I think PNP still has the numbers. Quite a few have switched to the JLP. A lot of people like the new JLP candidate in Nathaniel Maraj. His supporters are very optimistic, but it's one I will have to see. But my forecasts haven't discerned enough to say that Nathaniel Maraj will unseat the PNP this time around. I think Omar Newell will hold on to that one for the PNP.
Because National Party is holding on to St. Mary Central. What about St. Mary Western, where the chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party, Bobby Montague,
yes,
is candidate?
It continues to be a very close one. Omar Woodbine, I've gotten some traction. Bobby had some problem earlier on with his supporters, or should I say the JLP had some problem with their supporters earlier on. I think most of those supporters have come around. I've been speaking to people in Western St. Mary who think Bobby will win. Bobby have done well for the constituency. It's a fallacy that he has not done anything as an MP. He clearly have worked and he's respected, and it comes back again to you cannot hype up the campaign in constituencies like these against people like Bobby Montague when you gain some traction. And I think that's the bad thing Omar Woodbine and the PNP did. They publicized it as if they were hell-bent on beating Bobby and nothing can change that. Bobby Montague has the numbers, and I think he will come out with the numbers and Omar Woodbine won't be matching him.
So that's the Labour Party winning Portland 2-2 and St. Mary 2-1.
Yes, and I must add, I'm not taking Omar Woodbine for granted. I think he have controlled most of the corner shops, most of the street corner, most of the young guys who normally don't pay much attention to the politics. Not necessarily the young statesmen, but the guys on the corner have been going with Woodbine in Western St. Mary, and I think that's some traction for him. But I still think Bobby Montague will pull out the bigger number. So I will give Western St. Mary to Bobby Montague.
Wow. St. Anne Southeastern, we're jumping over quickly to St. Anne Southeastern.
St. Anne Southeastern, I think it's going to Dr. Kenneth Russell of the PNP.
PNP will retain that.
Yes.
Okay. What about St. Anne Northeastern, where
that's going to Matthew Samuda. Matthew Samuda of the JLP.
Samuda will win?
Yes.
What about St. Anne Northwestern, where Crystal Lee is?
St. Anne Northwestern, I think Crystal Lee is too strong for Gabriela Morris. JLP will take it.
St. Anne Northwestern with Xavier Main.
Hello?
I'm here with you, Casey. I'm here.
Yes.
Is Xavier Main winning Southwestern?
Yes. Yes. Xavier is definitely taking St. Anne Southwest.
So that's 3-1 in St. Anne for the Labour Party. Oh,
Yes.
my goodness. We are moving quickly tonight. We're over in Trelawny Northern. Tova Hamilton. Is Tova Hamilton winning this?
That's a battleground. That's a very tough one. She have done enough to win, but not all constituencies will go based on the performance. I think the political organization, the resources on the ground, and the traditional support, the strength of the traditional support will play a big part in Northern Trelawny. And all those factors is making it remain a battleground in Northern Trelawny. I think it's too close to call. I don't see why Tova should be in trouble based on the work she have done, but it's the politics, and she cannot sit pretty and win this one. She will have to do it all over again. Work as hard as she worked 2020 to make sure she gets the vote into the ballot box to stave off Dr. Wickham McNeil, despite the fact that Wickham McNeil is a 5-star general that lost his seat in Western Westmoreland and didn't even have the courage to face the people again to see if he can be re-elected. So I guess he's a lucky man to get a Northern Trelawny that has strong PNP support. I think he has at least 8,000 who will support the PNP by any means necessary, no matter who is running. But there's another 2,000 up for grabs, and if Tova Hamilton can get more out of that 2,000 than Wickham, then Tova Hamilton will definitely be the MP again. But it's a close one, neighbor, and it's one I will have in the battleground.
All right. So that's Trelawny, Tova Hamilton seat. We can't call that one. That one is too close to call. What about Southern Trelawny, where Miss Dalrymple Philibert is up against what's the gentleman's name?
Paul Patmore. Big up and respect to my friend, my very brave friend in Paul Patmore.
Yes.
I hope things are good over there with you. It's a safe seat, neighbor, and it's a safe seat for Marissa Dalrymple Philibert and the JLP.
Philibert
Yes.
is going to win this one?
Yes, Miss D is going to retain her seat.
Okay, then let's jump over to St. James. Let's review what we have here so far, listeners. The Politics Plus forecast, 4 minutes to 9 o'clock. Portland Eastern, the forecaster is calling that for Anne-Marie Vaz. Portland Western, he's calling that for Darrell. In St. Mary, Norman Dunn is expected to retain his seat. St. Mary Central is going to go back to the People's National Party. Bobby Montague, though he is underwater, the forecaster is still suggesting that the people are going to stick with him and that he is going to pull through. So that's 2-1 in St. Mary over in St. Anne. St. Anne Southeastern, represented in Parliament by Lisa Hanna. She's retiring from politics. Forecaster is suggesting that the PNP is going to retain that. Over in St. Anne Northeastern, where Matthew Samuda is, the Minister of Water, is expected to retain that very comfortably. Crystal Lee in Northwestern St. Anne is expected to be returned. And also Xavier Main, they call that Mainland. In St. Anne, it's 3-1 in favor of the Jamaica Labour Party. In Trelawny, Miss Marissa Dalrymple Philibert is going to stave off the challenge from Paul Patmore. She'll be returning to Parliament. And Trelawny Northern, where Tova Hamilton is a first-time MP. That one is too close to call. We have left that in the battleground, the battleground column. So far, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seats gone to the Jamaica Labour Party and 2 to the People's National Party. We're jumping over now to St. James. There are 5 constituencies in St. James. Ed Bartlett is going to be returning, KC. All right, let's see if we can get KC back. Go. KC, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, are you there?
Neighbor.
Yes, sir. We are in St. James. St. James East Central. Is Ed Bartlett going to be retaining that?
Yes, neighbor.
Let's not spend a lot of time there. What about Dr. Chang? Is Dr. Chang winning?
Definitely.
Yes. St. James Central with Leroy Clark. Any challenge there?
Definitely. You're right. Bringing it home.
Okay, that's 3-0 so far. What about Marlene Malahou Fort, the Minister
Yes.
of
She's been challenged. She's been challenged by Dr. Andre Harton. Dr. Andre Harton is putting up a fight, fighting to the very end. He lost 2020, and he has returned, and he is doing all he can. But I think Marlene Malahou Fort has the numbers and will retain it. But it's not as safe as the other 3 for the JLP. But I think it's a strong seat leaning JLP, and Malahou Fort will go back to Gardner.
Fantastic. 4-0 so far. What about Southern St. James, where Nikisha Burchell is challenging the Member of Parliament, Homer Davis? That one is expected to be a battleground?
This is the battleground one. This is the closest one in the parish, but it's the parish where JLP is the strongest, and all the indicators are telling me that JLP will sweep St. James 5-0 again. So Omar Davis will beat Nikisha Burchell, and she will be heading to Parliament. He will be headed to Parliament, not her. I hope she try again.
Wow, that's a pretty massive win for the Labour Party in St. James. 5-0. Wow, that is impressive. Let's jump over to Hanover. There are 2 seats in Hanover. Eastern Hanover, represented by Dave Hume, and Western Tamika Davis. She's a lawyer. What's the call for Eastern Hanover, KC?
Eastern Hanover, it's a very tough seat, and it will go down to the wire. I still have it in my battleground column. I think the JLP have the organization in the East, and also have the numbers in the East and the experience of Dave Brown. I think the JLP will take home Eastern Hanover.
Yes. And Western?
Western Hanover, very different than Eastern for the JLP. Western Hanover traditionally votes PNP more often than not. Western Hanover has a new JLP candidate, a first time MP. I meant a new MP in Tamika Davis, who she was underwater a few months ago, way underwater, neighbor, but she have recovered somewhat. But I still think the PNP, if they are mounting any challenge, Western Hanover is one of the seats they will have to keep. And I think Western is leaning PNP at the moment.
Fantastic. We have covered the northern part of the island, listeners. Western Hanover is a flip for the People's National Party. KC is suggesting that Tamika Davis is going to struggle to retain Western Hanover, but he's saying that Dave Brown will win back Eastern Hanover. So that's 1-1 in Hanover. Over in St. James, although Southern is a battleground, and also West Central, he's still tipping the Labour Party to take St. James 5-0. Over in Trelawny, Tuva Hamilton is not clear. We have left that one in a battleground column, but Southern with Miss Philibert is safe for the Jamaica Labour Party. In St. Ann is 4-1. The PNP is retaining Southeastern in St. Mary. The PNP is retaining Central. The Labour Party is taking Portland 2-0. We're going to go to the other side of the island and start with St. Thomas Eastern, KC. Dr. Charles for the Jamaica Labour Party, St. Thomas Eastern. How do you see that?
I think Dr. Michelle Charles has a good chance as any MP to go back to Garden House. A lot of people don't understand the dynamics of that constituency. People seem to be following the narrative that it's a PNP stronghold. No, it's not. It's a constituency that vote consistently for one party over a period of time. And before it's a PNP dominated constituency, it was dominated by the Jamaica Labour Party. So traditionally, there are support on both sides in Eastern St. Thomas about political party. I think over the past 6 years, the JLP have gained more undecided votes than the PNP. And based on the policies and what is being campaigned on or campaigned against, I expect the JLP to get the extra vote or the sympathy vote, whichever vote needed to take home seats like St. Mary Eastern. And I think the JLP will retain it. I think Dr. Michelle Charles will retain it. I know she has an excellent team. She has a former MP there with her, hands in hands every day, which is her father. And I think she is pretty safe as far as her campaign team is concerned, as far as her election machinery is concerned come election day. And I don't see enough factors. There are some discomfort, yes, among constituents for various things, but I don't think it's enough for them to turn their back on Dr. Michelle Charles. And if you see what's happening with St. Thomas, it's only encouraging for the St. Thomas natives to choose Jamaica and vote for Dr. Michelle Charles again and vote for Dr. Andrew Holness. And I think they will. The work that has been done in St. Thomas, it will benefit the JLP politically and know where they need the support than in the East, where that's the only battleground constituency in the parish, because West is a safe JLP seat.
You are suggesting that
Dr. Charles will take it home.
Yes, and so James Robertson, we can skip over that one. He's gonna.
Yes, James Robertson retain his seat. If James Robertson don't retain his seat, it will be a shocker for even me. But I expect James Robertson to ride on this ticket straight to Garden House and maybe can carry company. He maybe is the one that will carry Michelle Charles. Who knows? But James Robertson remains a threat to the PNP in the Western St. Thomas, and this time will be no different.
All right. Okay. Okay. Then let's go to the other end of the island, over in Westmoreland, KC. Westmoreland Weston. The Jamaica Labour Party changed their candidate there. What's your prediction?
Westmoreland West. You mean Dr. Garfield James?
Garfield James, yes.
Yes. Earlier on, neighbor, after the internal struggle, I was watching it keenly and anticipating other fallout. But I think the JLP have come together nicely in keenly and anticipate is now behind Dr. Garfield James. And I think that spells trouble for Ian Hales, because I really don't think Ian Hales is more for Ian Hales. because I really don't think Ian Ayers is a strong candidate forever. But I still think it's a battleground. But momentum is with the JLP, and Dr. Garfield James is looking stronger than Ian Ayers from at this point going in. But we are watching it keenly. It's still in my battleground column.
Okay. All right. So let's go into Central, Westmoreland, Western. It's too
Yes.
close.
George Wright has Dwayne Vaz number.
He has. You are
Yes.
saying that George Wright is going to win back Central?
Yes, Mr. Wright is winning again.
Dr. Campbell. Is Dr. Campbell going to be winning this?
You see, a poll in that constituency, a accurate poll in that constituency will probably show you them maybe 50-50 or 51-49. The furthest 52-48. Daniel Lawrence is the silent river down in Westmoreland, and he have been doing tremendous job on the ground and as an MP in Eastern Westmoreland. And if it was most other constituency, you would say that will take him through. But that's not the case in most of these constituencies in the politics in Jamaica today. It's going to be a tough one for him. The PNP have placed the General Secretary there, so you know the human resources and other resources will be at the General Secretary's disposal. And the support that the PNP has in Eastern Westmoreland is like no other. And remember, the PNP would normally have stronger support in that parish than anywhere else, and their strongest support in Westmoreland is in Eastern. So I'm going to respect the politics. My forecasts really haven't showed me that Dr. Dayton Campbell is favorable and will run away with it. It shows me that Daniel Lawrence is loved by his supporters, but not necessarily by everybody for it to really tip the scale. I'm going to respect the politics and give this one to the PNP and the General Secretary.
Dayton Campbell is expected to return to Parliament.
It's no far gone conclusion.
Okay, great. All right, let's jump over to St. Elizabeth. KC, there are 4 constituencies in St. Elizabeth: St. Elizabeth Northwestern, St. Elizabeth Northeastern, St. Elizabeth Southeastern, and St. Elizabeth Southwestern. Let's start with Northwestern, KC.
Yes, Andrew Morris is the JLP standard bearer now in St. Elizabeth Northwestern. He has taken over for long-standing MP J.C. Hutchinson. And Andrew Morris will retain that seat no matter the fight the PNP put up. And easily too. It's the strongest JLP seat in St. Elizabeth. Stronger than Floyd Green, stronger than Franklin Witter.
All right. So let's move then over to Floyd Green. Is the Minister of Agriculture.
Yes, the very popular Minister of Agriculture, very popular MP, one of the most popular active politician in the country now is Floyd Green. And Miranda Wellington just simply cannot beat him. Nobody can beat Floyd Green in St. Elizabeth Southeastern in 2025. And that's neighbor, if people keep looking at this local government election result, they will see why my forecast has the JLP winning so many seats. Because despite the fact that the PNP came close in some of these constituencies in the local government election, they don't stand a chance to beat the JLP MP in these constituencies in the general. And Floyd Green and Southwest St. Elizabeth is one of them. Floyd Green is going to win by over 2,500 votes, neighbor. and I can bet on that.
Wow. Strong performance from the Labour Party so far. All across the island, we are going to review after St. Elizabeth. My listeners, based on the forecast so far, the Labour Party seem to be winning the election. We're not there yet, but the indication so far is that the Labour Party is doing very well and is expected to do as well as they did, if not better than 2020. KC in St. Elizabeth Northeastern, that's a strong PNP seat. Delroy Slowly is the member of parliament. Is Delroy Slowly going to be retained in this one?
That's traditionally a strong PNP seat. And neighbor, I keep on alluding to the fact that the JLP machinery is strong. They are precise. They are efficient. They know where they need to be when they need to be. They know where to put pressure. They know where they need 50 extra votes or 500. And I keep on going back to the Prime Minister in Gale St. Mary, 2 a.m. in the morning, and then the JLP losing Gale St. Mary by 52 votes, I think. And nobody saw that coming. But the JLP machinery, the JLP team picked up that. They picked up on everything and they know where they need to work. And you mentioned that Northeast St. Elizabeth is a strong PNP seat. And I don't think there's another constituency that the Prime Minister have gone more often in this campaign.
Oh?
Yes. He seems to
Yes.
He seems to be milking everything he can out of Northeast St. Elizabeth because he knows where JLP need a little extra. And JLP is about to sweep St. Elizabeth once again because
Jamaica Labour Party is about to sweep St. Elizabeth.
I think Delroy Slowly is stronger than Zuleika Jess in St. Elizabeth Northeast. Yeah.
The Labour Party is winning St. Elizabeth 4-0.
Yes, and you can go over to Southeast St. Elizabeth because Norman Scott has no chance against Frank Witter. Not in this election, not in this seat. Franklin Witter is winning Southeast St. Elizabeth.
4-0 for the Labour Party in St. Elizabeth, like St. James?
Yes. The difference
That's
with
strong performance from the party.
St. James is 5-0. And that's why I tell you over and over, in order for the PNP to win this election, they will have to be sweeping places like Hanover, sweep Westmoreland. They can't afford to lose a seat in those places. They'll have to sweep Manchester, sweep St. Mary, and then they are ready to challenge.
All right, then let's review for the listeners who are just joining us. We started over in Portland, Varsland, they call it. Eastern, Anne-Marie is retaining. Western, Darrell Vaz is retaining, according to the forecaster here tonight. Over in St. Mary, it's a 2-0 in favor of 2-1 in favor of the Jamaica Labour Party. In St. Anne, it's 3-1 in favor of the Jamaica Labour Party. In Trelawny, it's too close to call for Northern, but Mrs. Dalrymple Philibert is holding on to Southern. In St. James, look at this. It's 5-0 in favor of the Jamaica Labour Party, one of the Jamaica Labour Party's strongest parish. They are winning St. James West Central with Marlene Malahoo Fort. Even Homer Davis is winning Southern. Goodness gracious me. Over in Hanover, it's 1-1. The PNP is expected to take back Western, and the Labour Party is hanging on to Eastern. Over in Westmoreland, West is too close to call. Central, George Wright is to be returned. In Eastern, the General Secretary of the People's National Party, Dayton Campbell, he is expected to retain, not to retain, but to win that for the People's National Party. And then we come to St. Elizabeth, and we are hearing that Floyd Green is going to be winning by more than 2,000 votes, and that even Delroy Slowly is winning back northeastern St. Elizabeth. The Labour Party is forecast to win 4 seats in St. Elizabeth. So far, you can do the maths. We leave the maths until later on. But the Labour Party, the PNP has picked up 2 seats. They have 4. The Labour Party has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 4. The elections are now 19-4 in favor of the Jamaica Labour Party. We're not done yet. It's 19 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going with you until 10 o'clock. If an election was held tonight, KC went into the field, he did the work, historical work, looked at the forecast. We're bringing you the results tonight. We'll have another forecast for you next Thursday, and we'll be looking at some constituencies, some battleground constituencies on Monday. Manchester is a well-watched parish. Many people are looking at Manchester, especially northwestern Manchester. We're going to jump over to Manchester now. That is going to be very, very interesting. Let us start, KC, with the former ambassador to the United States, Audrey Marks. She is now in northeastern Manchester, replacing Manor Yard, former Minister of Finance, Audley Shaw. Manchester South, northeastern, KC, what's happening there?
The former ambassador, neighbor, the former ambassador is about to be the next MP. It's as simple as that. Northeast Manchester is a JLP stronghold. They have the number. What they needed was the drive, the enthusiasm. They needed to be galvanized. I told you they were not hard to energize. They already have the energy. They were there waiting, asking questions. Who is going to represent us? Why haven't we chosen a candidate? And from the word go, as soon as Audrey got on her marks, the people of Manchester Northeast were ready. And the reaction in Christiana was excellent. The reaction in Walderston was excellent. And the reaction in Craighead is amazing. And it's not going to be a third time lucky story for Valentine Gwynn. He will not win. And Gwynn knows it. I don't know who don't get the memo yet. But Val knows it. If you listen to his speeches, he's more complaining now rather than campaigning. So Northeast Manchester, the JLP have done it. You know, we have to respect the politics, and we know Val will know the ground, and he has been there for a while, and we got to wait until election day and all of that. But really and truly, I don't see Valwyn beating Audrey Marks.
Fantastic. What about Central Manchester with young Rhoda Moore? Have you looked at that one? Is that one going to be? Is Rhoda going to lose her seat this time around?
Against who? Rhoda will have Donovan Mitchell for breakfast.
Rhoda is going to have Mitchell for breakfast?
She could.
Yes.
Mario Mitchell is the PNP biggest hope in Manchester Central, and he's making a fool of himself. He's the one they are dependent on to bring home the bacon. because they need to win Belfield by about 800 votes to win the constituency, because the PNP is not winning Mandeville Division, they aren't winning Napachuk, and they aren't winning Royal Flat, where the mayor is, who is the parliamentary candidate. I think Rhoda Crawford is retaining her seat based on the fact that the people of Central Manchester don't want to lose her as an MP. And it's really amazing because it's good to see hard work being rewarded in the politics.
Wow. Wow. 2-2 in Manchester so far. Casey, the PNP is not winning this election.
Well, you can do the math. No, they're not winning this election.
Wow. It is hardly competitive, Casey, based on the figures you're giving us so far.
Well, another thing I want to point out, neighbor. Let's go back to 2020. It was not competitive. The JLP 149-14, but it could have been competitive and we still had that seat count. But if you look at the margin of victory, you realize it was not competitive. Go further back to 2011 when the PNP won 42-41. There were multiple seats that the PNP won by over 100 or just under 100 votes, over 200 or just under 200, like Eastern St. Andrew, East Rural St. Andrew, West Rural St. Andrew. None of those were over 300 or even well over 200. Central St. James, there were quite a few. Eastern Hanover, there were quite a few. Even Central Manchester. So, but it was a blowout. Double up, 42-21 based on seat count. But it was still a competitive election. A lot of people missed that. And when JLP came back and won 2016, a lot of them were surprised and caught off guard. But what they didn't know, despite the seat count, it was still a competitive election. Now, when I say this election is competitive, yes, it is competitive, but it will not be reflected in the seat count.
Yes.
Because the JLP will win these constituencies.
All right. So you're saying that the Labour Party is taking Northeastern and they're also taking Central. What about Southern Manchester with Peter Bunting, Ian Ives? What's happening there?
Well, Ian Ives and the Jamaica Labour Party, chance of winning this election in South Manchester this year hinge on a JLP wipeout. Because if the dominoes start to fall, there's no telling which one will go. Maybe all of them. And when I say all of them, I don't mean all 63. I mean all the possible constituencies that can fall. And then Ian Ives would have benefited. But as far as challenging, campaigning and winning South Manchester is, I think the PNP and Peter Bunting have the edge and is in the lead. Winning is flipping South Manchester.
What about Northwestern, the final seat in Manchester? 2-1 in Manchester so far.
Manchester Northwestern is a battleground, neighbor. We spoke on it on Monday, and I give you all the factors why Damian Young will win. I still, from my heart, will say Young will win. When I look at all the factors, everything that he's capable of, all the answers he have come up with. But Young will have to come up with the numbers for me. I know Michael Phillips' number will not be great. I still think Michael Phillips is sitting ducks. But can the JLP find the 7,000 required to beat Michael Phillips? The last election, the last general election, the JLP polled less than they polled in 2016. I think Young have done the work. I think the ground is fertile in Northwest Manchester. Does the JLP have the mechanism in place to reward Damian Young? And I'm speaking directly to the JLP. Do that and you will win. But for now, they haven't. I haven't seen that yet. But I've seen Young and his team work, and they have come shoulder to shoulder with Michael Phillips and the PNP, and that's no easy feat in Manchester Northwest. That testament to the kind of character and the capability of Damian Young and the JLP Manchester Northwestern. So I still have this one in the battleground column there.
Okay, so that's 2-1 and 1 in the battleground in Manchester. All right. Okay. Let's jump over to Clarendon then, KC. There are 6 constituencies in Clarendon.
Yes, neighbor. I was born in Clarendon. I live in Clarendon for a nice little part of my life. Yes. I'm speaking to you from Clarendon now, as we speak. Yes, and I'm speaking to you from Lionel Town, which borders southeast and southwest Clarendon. One side of the street in Lionel Town is on southwest, and another side is on southeast. Yes. This side represented as MP by Colonel Charles Jr., the Minister of Labour and Social Security, and the other side represented by none other than Lowton Cousins, and that is southwest. That is represented by Lowton Cousins, who actually lives in southeast Clarendon and is from southeast Clarendon. So southwest Clarendon, a PNP bastion, PNP stronghold. PNP actually extended their margin in 2020 in southwest Clarendon, when the JLP had a magnificent election and the PNP was really poor. So yes. I expect Lowton Cousin to retain his seat. I see Robert Chin campaigning and doing his best, but I know Lowton won't lose this one this time around. Southwest Clarendon is not yet ready to make a change, if they are ever going to make a change. That's a PNP seat. Southeast Clarendon is the opposite in every way, because maybe the same is in every way, but it's for the JLP, not for the PNP. Colonel Charles Jr. will continue to be the Member of Parliament, and the Southeast Clarendon constituency of Alexander Bustamante, Eula Shearer, Rudyard Spencer will retain in the JLP column. Next, we have Central Clarendon, Mike Henry's seat. Mike Henry still represents that seat as Member of Parliament. He has stepped down from representational politics. Former Mayor of Kingston, Delroy Williams, and the councillor for the Seavright Garden Division in West Central St. Andrew Holness's constituency, is the man given the nod to be the standard bearer in Maypen, that's Central Clarendon, for the JLP. Yes. The challenger is the vibrant, ever vibrant Carla Watt, very popular in Central Clarendon. She is thinking of an upset in Central Clarendon. That is unheard of, but I can tell you that the comrades in Central Clarendon, they are more optimistic than ever. I don't think they have the numbers, but they are riding off a possible conflict, because there is a general consensus on the ground that the laborites in Central Clarendon are unhappy at how the transition of the seat has been dealt with, and how they have catapulted Delroy Feather Williams into Central Clarendon. So let's see how that plays out. But from where I'm sitting, Central Clarendon, one of the strongest JLP seats, is going back to the JLP.
Yes.
The earlier information is worth mentioning because, as I said, you have to respect the politics and all its factors. And the next one is North Central Clarendon. Over up in Moko, you have Chapelton. That what's the other? Can't tell you the other division in that constituency off the top of my head. But they are Colonel Charles have given the baton to Robert Nestor Morgan, who won convincingly in 2020 and is looking to win big again 2025. Going up against Dr. Ajay Dixon, young Rastafarian, vibrant politician from the People's National Party. But I don't think Mr. Dixon has enough, or the PNP has enough to unseat Nestor Morgan or to even mount a good challenge. Yes, Nestor Morgan will retain the seat.
Yes. All right, Casey. Time is running. We have the two northern seats now. Northern with Sibley's and Northwestern with young Warren Ruby.
They are locked up, neighbor. That's what I can tell you. They are locked up. Punch for punch in Northwest Clarendon and Northern Clarendon.
Oh,
I think Newbie has the edge because I think he comes with a particular freshness, a new idea, and he can attract more voters than Richard Azan. I think Richard Azan is kind of sitting ducks. I think Azan and the PNP have a number. It's the same organization, and if you can beat that number, you can beat them. And I think Newbie would know that, and I think Newbie have a great team that's working the constituency, and they know where every nook and cranny to work in that constituency to come out. So I think Newbie have the edge, but that's going to be a battle, and that's also going to be with the national swing. If there's a not considered national swing, if there's a considered national swing, that seat is going to go with it, and so too Northern Clarendon. I tell you earlier in the forecast in the earlier months that Sibley's is strong. Yes, Sibley's is strong, and Hines, who is not my favorite person, the world knows that. But when it comes to being unbiased, that's what I do because I have a reputation to keep, and Wavell Hines is doing a good job politically, and he's putting pressure on Sibley's. I thought it would be an easy win for Sibley's because of the strength of Sibley's, the organization of Sibley's, and I don't give Hines much credit for anything, not even a hook shot. He's not my favorite person, as you know, but he's doing some good political work up there, and it's tight up there too. It's another battleground.
okay. Wow. So then that's 3-1 for the Labour Party in Clarendon with 2 close to call.
Yes.
Okay, let's respect that. All right, Casey. What?
It could be 5-1. It could be 4-2. It could be 3-3. Let's see.
Let's review then, and then we're gonna come to St. Catherine, Kingston, and St. Andrew. So listeners, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, well, you are tuned to the best political program anywhere online here in Jamaica. Clearly, we are way ahead of the others. We do political forecasting. The forecaster is Casey. It happens on Mondays and on Thursdays. On Mondays, we go into the constituencies and we look at especially the battleground seats. And on Thursdays, we give you a kind of a feel as to what is happening in all the seats. Well, tonight, we are giving you a general forecast and we are suggesting that we are about 90% sure that the information we are giving you is correct. So out of 100, we are 90% sure, looking at the history, looking at the trends, looking at the polls, looking at various factors. Here is what we have arrived at so far. Let's start over in Portland. In Portland, 2-0 in favor of the Jamaica Labour Party. In St. Mary, 2-1 in favor of the Jamaica Labour Party. The PNP is retaining center. In St. Anne, 3-1 in favor of the Jamaica Labour Party. The PNP is retaining St. Anne Southeastern. In Trelawny, 1 seat is called there. Northern Trelawny with Tover Hamilton is too close to call. Southern is being called for the Jamaica Labour Party. In St. James, there are 5 constituencies in St. James. The Labour Party is winning all 5, although Southern is tight. It is leaning JLP. We have put that in the Labour Party column. In Hanover, there are 2 constituencies, Western Hanover and Eastern Hanover. Western Hanover, we are giving that to the PNP. That's a flip. Eastern, the Labour Party is hanging on there. In Westmoreland, West is too close to call. Central, George Wright is expected to retain. And in Eastern, we are giving that to the People's National Party General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell. 1-1 in Westmoreland with 1 too close to call. In St. Elizabeth, the Labour Party is dominant as they are in St. James. The Labour Party is winning Northwestern, they are winning Southwestern, they are winning Northeastern, and they are also winning Southeastern 4-0 for the Jamaica Labour Party in St. Elizabeth. In Manchester, it's 2 to the Labour Party, 1 to the People's National Party, and 1 too close to call. So the Labour Party is expected to retain Northeastern with Audrey Marks, Central with Rhoda Moy, Crawford, the PNP will flip Southern with Peter Bunting, and Damian Young is tied with Michael Phillips in Manchester Northwestern. That is too close to call. In Clarendon, it is 3-1 for the Jamaica Labour Party with 2 too close to call. So Colonel Charles in Southeastern, Mr. Williams in Central, and Robert Morgan in North Central are all safe with Southwest strong in the PNP's column. In the Northern Belt, Clarendon Northern and Clarendon Northwestern, those seats are too close to call. 3-1 with 2 in the battleground. Okay, we are now going to go to St. Catherine and Kingston and St. Andrew. I'll just ask Casey to name the winner and we'll move on to tally the vote and tell you who is winning. The elections are in high gear. The Prime Minister was in halfway tree yesterday. The opposition leader was in Spanish Town. My goodness, the elections are on. Politics Plus, we have it for you. welcome back. 17 minutes to 10 o'clock. And the Politics Plus forecast is on tonight. KC, let's go to St. Catherine. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Yes. St. Catherine, Northwestern, Newton, Amos, and Crawford. How do you see that?
I expect the PNP to retain it with Damon Crawford.
PNP to retain.
I know it's not what most of your fans on here want to hear, because you have this life is dominated by JLP supporters, as everybody know. But
Is it really?
it's not a safe PNP seat. I don't think Crawford is running away with it, but I think he's winning it at the moment.
All right. What about St. Catherine Northeastern with Carinthia Morrison? Are you there, Casey?
Yes, neighbor.
St. Catherine Northeastern.
Neighbor, you hear me clearly now?
Better. Go ahead.
Okay. St. Catherine Northeastern, second term MP.
Okay. Do you want to just go to St. Catherine quickly for me, Casey? Just go ahead.
Okay. Yes. St. Catherine North Central. I understand that Natalie Nita Garvey is being challenged by I don't know what's his I don't remember what's his name, but it's not going to be enough. I think PNP will retain St. Catherine North Central easily, and I think it's one of the safe seats. St. Catherine Eastern, again, Dennis Daly will retain it for the PNP with ease. St. Catherine Southeastern, however, it's another battleground, and in recent week, I can tell you, Big Rob is leading. Big Rob have taken the lead in St. Catherine Southeast. And Dr. Alfred Dawes tried to play a national hero for the PNP instead of spending some time in his constituency and trying to do his due diligence and do the work. And while Big Rob was there with the people, house to house, church to church, and I think the hard work that Big Rob have done over the last 5 years seem to have been paying off. Big Rob is leading Southeast St. Catherine. It's a very close one. I still have as a battleground, but I can tell you, he is leading Dawes. And that's the tiebreaker, because I think the parties are 50-50 in St. Catherine Southeast at the moment. St. Catherine Southwest is Everall Warmington versus Kurt Wall. And Kurt Wall is a lot of people around the country will not take him serious if they don't know him, because they know Everall Warmington, and the narrative is there saying that Everall will win, Warmer will always win. Kurt Wall don't think so. He seems to be using resources, human resources and other resources. He's connecting with people and he's putting up a fight. And Kurt Wall, I haven't given him any credit in my forecast. You ask me over and over if he has a chance. What I think he will do, he will get more votes, a lot more votes than the other PNP candidates got in Southwest St. Catherine. I don't think he can match Warmington's number though. I think Warmington will win very comfortable at the end.
Yes.
Yes. that's St. Catherine Southwest. St. Catherine East Central, that's Alanda Trelawny versus Raymond Price. A battleground campaign we will have. Look for all the theatrics, everything. These are two showmen here. Alanda Trelawny has the numbers, the JLP has the numbers. The people don't have reason to turn away from Trelawny nor the JLP, and those are the factors why I say East Central St. Catherine is going to JLP. It's leaning JLP.
Yes.
1 second. Yes, Alanda Trelawny will take St. Catherine East Central. We move over to St. Catherine East Central. That's a safe seat with Dr. Christopher Tufton. St. Catherine Central, a safe seat with Olivia Babsy Grange. St. Catherine South Central, a safe seat with Dr. Andrew Weekly. Have we missed any St. Catherine seats? Jackson. I expect Fitzjackson to beat Delroy Dabney. Dabney, another man, a man of faith, and he is doing the work. And one, I would say, deserving of being MP, but it's a numbers game, and I don't think we have the numbers in St. Catherine's to beat Mr. Fitzjackson.
Tufton?
Tufton, I already called it. It's a win for Tufton.
Yes. West Central. Okay. All right. And then let's move over to St. Catherine. Go to St. Andrew. Kingston and St. Andrew.
Okay. Kingston and St. Andrew. We'll start with East Rural St. Andrew. We don't normally do that. If you look at the local government number, Patrick Peter King led team actually had the bigger number over Juliet Holness' team. After the local government, there was a surprise, PNP surprise JLP by flipping the Kintyre division. However, that's a year and a half ago, and the JLP have time to work and galvanize. And based on what I'm seeing, Juliet Anne-Marie Holness is going back to Parliament. No doubt about that. And so too is Favour Williams in Eastern St. Andrew. I understand that Patricia Duncan Sutherland has experience now, and she have resources, and she has been mounting a wonderful challenge. But the majority of the people of St. Catherine East, St. Andrew Eastern will not swap Finance Minister Favour Williams for any other MP. Over in St. Andrew West Rural, Juliet Cuthbert Flynn. Normally, we will be forecasting this seat just like East Rural or maybe Eastern. It's not so. Juliet Cuthbert Flynn had turned it into a JLP safe seat, and there's no way it's going to the PNP in 2020. Sorry, Joan Gardner-Webley, but Juliet Cuthbert Flynn will take this one once again. Over on the Northern Belt, you know, that's JLP through and through. Northeastern for Delroy Chuck, North Central for Delano Seavright, and Northwestern for Dwayne Smith. St. Andrew West Central, that's the Prime Minister's seat. Dr. Andrew Michael Holness, that's going to the JLP once again. St. Andrew East Central, Davian Vassar is putting up a fight. That's Peter Phillips' old seat. It's now represented by the Maxfield councillor, Dennis Garden. And we will watch and see there. Davian, the TikToker, is doing really well. He's getting some traction, and he's getting traction on air as well. And you don't know, if you have thousands of followers following you and listening to you, there's no telling which constituency those followers fall in and what they are able to do to keep their TikToker happy. But as for now, I'm forecasting it for a PNP win.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And now we go over to the southern belt where it's PNP through and through. Southwestern St. Andrew, Dr. Angela Goldberg. Southeast St. Andrew, Julian Robinson. And Southern St. Andrew, Mark Jefferson Golden. I expect all of them to carry home those seats. And those seats should be retained by the PNP. They should return to the column of the PNP with ease. One I missed that would be George Anthony Hilton. He's been challenged by Corey Dunkley, and I expect the PNP to win that as well.
Central Kingston?
Well, over in Kingston now, Central Kingston, another one neighbor that traditionally people see it as a PNP seat. Yes, it is. I don't think the JLP have ever really won it in a competitive election, but a lot have changed. And Donovan Williams, I can tell you, is the most popular politician throughout Central Kingston, and I don't mean he is not notorious, he's famous for being an MP that works. And with Andrew Michael Holness by his side, he's not going to be easy to beat, easy to unseat. And I don't think Steve McGregor will be able to do it. Not this election. I think the JLP will win Central Kingston. And they have put in the work, and they have slowly but surely taken the lead, neighbor. And this is no emotion speaking, because I've never forecast this seat for the JLP, even when people were on my back telling me, giving me their reason why JLP will win it. I don't forecast it, and I see it until I see it.
Uh-huh.
East Kingston and Port Royal, we know that's going to Philip Palwell and the PNP. West Kingston is going to Desmond Mackenzie and the JLP.
Yes? That's it?
Yes, neighbor.
Well, listeners, let's do the reviews. Stay tuned here for a minute for me. Oh my goodness. All right, listeners, there are 5 seats that are too close to call. I'm going to tell you them. Based on tonight's forecast, there are 5 seats that are too close to call. That's Trelawny Northern, Manchester, Northwestern, Western, Westmoreland, Clarendon, North Central, and Clarendon, Northwestern. All of the other seats have been called. What are the results? Coming up in 30 seconds. Well, Casey went out into the field, he did the research, and here are the results. Jamaica Labour Party launched its election campaign yesterday. The Prime Minister was in halfway tree, giving out his booklets. He had his ministers all across the island. The People's National Party was in Spanish Town last night. A big crowd there. But what are the forecasting saying? What are we saying? Based on the information given to me tonight, if an election was held today, the PNP would retain 13 of its 14 seats. 13 of its 14. The only one that the PNP is not retaining is Northwest Manchester, and they are not losing it. It is too close to call. I'm not correct. I'm not correct at all. No, that's wrong. Let me go again.
I think that is correct, neighbor.
Sorry, no, what they have picked up South Manchester.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you'd forecast, you'd put what they picked up into a different category.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So the PNP is retaining 13, and they are picking up 5. The PNP is picking up Hanover Western. The PNP is also picking up Western Westmoreland. That's 2.
I think it's Eastern they're picking up, not Western.
Eastern, sorry, yeah. They're picking up Eastern. Picking up Eastern, and they are picking up Western Hanover. So that's 2 that they have flipped, and they have flipped also Manchester Southern. So the PNP has picked up 3 seats according to this. So that's 13 plus 3. That gives the PNP 16 seats.
Well, they have lose 1 to the battleground. So that's essentially 15.
So that's 13 plus 3.
13 plus 3, 16, but they have lost 1. Oh, they have lost 1 from 14 to the battle. So yes, neighbor, 16.
Yes. 16. So the PNP is coming away here with 16 seats. 16 seats in the election. Now let's
how much are in the battleground column, the undecided?
5. Just give me a minute. The PNP has 16. There are 5 that are too close to call. The Labour Party, 42. Those are the results. Based on tonight's forecast, the Labour Party is winning 42 seats. The PNP is clear in 16. And there are 5 that could go either way.
Yes, and all who will say that if the Prime Minister was so sure, why don't he call it? If you're following current affairs of the country, if you're following the news, you will see, neighbor, I'm telling you, I've told you earlier on in my earlier forecast, when I just started, that the Prime Minister could win an election in the midnight, but he's waiting until dawn so the people can clearly see what is happening. Do you remember those comments?
I remember those words precisely, yes.
Do you see what's happening with the work being done by the government and the Prime Minister's statutory declaration and things like that? You realize how clear these things are getting. It's now dawning. It is now dawning. So it's time for the election.
Well, What a fantastic night we have had. Listeners, that's the information that I got, that I shared with you tonight. Is Nisa here? Is Nisa online? Nisa is online. 42, 16 with 5. Too close to call. Wow. 703 persons are watching on the live now. That's a record. No, that's not a record. We've had more than that. More than 1,500 more people are watching that have not logged on. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for supporting Politics Plus. The results of the forecast suggests that the Jamaica Labour Party is in pole position to win a consecutive third term with at least 42 of the 63 constituents. The PNP, they have bettered their position over 2020 under Mark Bowley. They are now up to 16 seats, having flipped a couple.
Yeah, and
Manchester.
they are way better, neighbor, because even the seats that they are set to lose, they have made ground. They are set to lose these seats by closer margin than 2020. They are competitive in a lot of them.
Right. I think the listeners should know that we are forecasting that the 2025 election will be a lot more competitive than the 2020 election, but that seat counts may be quite a different story. In other words, that the Labour Party will not win by such large margins in some of these constituencies, but they are still favorites to win a number of the constituencies. There are 5 constituencies that are too close to call. I think on Monday we could delve a little bit deeper into those and find out what is happening in those constituencies, why they are battleground. Likelihood that the PNP could win those 5 would take them up to 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. PNP could win 21 seats. Wow, and the Labour Party 42. Still would be a significant win for Andrew Holness and the Jamaica Labour Party. And so, listeners, that's what we have. That's the information that has been given to the Politics Plus team, that the Jamaica Labour Party is expected to retain the government. I'm sure Labour rights are happy tonight. I'm sure that some of my comrade friends may be a little disheartened. But I did not go into the field. Casey is the man that has given us the information, and he's standing by his information. Casey, is there anything you want to add?
Neighbor, it's way past my bedtime. We were supposed to start forecast at 6 p.m.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I go to bed, neighbor. I'm no wild man.
Okay. All right, then.
I think I actually went to sleep a few times in the forecast.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you coming to work tomorrow, sir?
Yes.
Okay. You're coming to work?
Yes.
All right. Have a great night, sir, and thank you so much.
Cool. Thank you. And thanks to the listeners.
I'll be prepared to take one comment from the PNP and one from the Jamaica Labour Party, or 2. I could give 2 minutes to the PNP and 2 minutes to the Jamaica Labour Party for comments on the forecast. I can't take everybody online. Nisa, is Nisa
Yes,
online?
that's I'm right here, neighbor. Good night.
June Plum, that's a fantastic drink. Like it with ginger. Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
Nisa, good night. How are you?
I'm good, neighbor. How are you?
No, no, not bad at all. Actually, a little tired, but I'm up here. I hope that I'll be able to buy a bottle of water afterwards. The listeners are not treating me good tonight at all. Nonetheless, Nisa, your views on this forecast tonight, showing that the Labour Party is winning 42 seats of the 63.
Well, before I start, I just want to say, Casey, good job. Well done. Thorough, analytical, not just feelings. You can hear the work and the research that was done. You can hear the conviction and the belief,
Yes.
the numbers. I am not surprised. I love when Casey said that the PM is waiting until the day, till the sun has rised to call the election. And if anything confirms that it is the ruling from the Supreme Court today, I think it shows a reflection of the fact that the Prime Minister is a strategist. He is not taking this thing for a joke. He's outclassing and strategizing the PNP on every front. Like he said this week, he's a long distance tuller, and I believe him because the way he is positioning and placing the party in terms of their communication products. I mean, I think they had a marvelous week this week and a most excellent week for the JLP
No,
this
I don't
week.
want you. I don't want you to go to the. I don't want you to go to that yet. I
What
want
talk
to
about?
hear
The
the views
forecast.
on the. Yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, the truth is that the JLP has some mega stalwarts in their party. Mega. Right? I mean, across the entire country, they have names that are not going to lose. Put it that way.
Uh-huh.
And the candidates that the PMP have offered the people are just not good enough. And that is
Right.
plain and simple as it. In terms of pound for pound, they are not good enough. Experience wise, personally, just from what I have seen so far in terms of what I'm hearing on the political platform, the way that they're debating messages, the way that they are combating the government's messaging, I'm not surprised that the JP is going to retain the majority of their seats simply because one party is just taking this thing a little more seriously than the other.
All right. Now take me now to the public relations. Some are calling it a master class. Yesterday. Describe for me what happened yesterday. In halfway tree and all across Jamaica, put on by the Jamaica Labour Party. What happened?
Sure. The PM entered the ring and did an uppercut and a knockout, pretty much. On the heels of Andre Horton saying that entering politics is beneath him, for lack of a better word. The PM went into the streets and shook people's hands, spoke to people that he met over the tenure of his political career, who he has helped. And
Yes.
what he basically did was showed that this leadership is about servanthood. It is about who can be the best servant. You know, the PM takes a lot of cues, I believe, from the Bible, from the way that Jesus talks about servant leadership, leading at the front, showing certain characteristics that he's not too good for getting on the ground with the people. The man is on the ground in people's hands, putting his life and his security at risk so that people know that he is serious about running the country. He's not just on the political platform, he's on the ground. And I think yesterday what he did was a total masterclass in raising the bar. I remember people saying that his Manly was the last time they really said anybody close and personal with people. And I think Andrew has become our modern day. I don't even know how to describe him. The man is just excellent. Figured out him zero the game. Him figure out politics to a
That is
T.
the general consensus, Nisa. But then when you listen to the People's National Party, over in Spanish Town last night, ridiculing this. I expected that type of critique because when you can't find anything really to when the substance is great, you really have to stoop low. What would you say their response represents? What is the PNP trying?
Gimmicks. Gimmicks, and they've abandoned well-thinking Jamaicans is how I would put it. They are solely speaking to their base. They're not interested in appealing to persons who are in the middle, who still are yet to be convinced. That is how I look at this. They are only speaking to people who are definitely voting for the PNP. What I heard in Spanish Town last night, especially from Damien, I will never stop lamenting how disappointing Damien's career and his public comments have been beneath his brilliance. And I feel like he has become a public jest, the court jest, like he has become somewhat of the joker of the bunch when he has so much more to offer in his mind, the way that he sees the community, that he sees the country, and just very, not surprised, but very, very disappointed at the way the PNP has been unable to strategically counterpoint the moves of the Prime Minister. And they've been campaigning for 2-3 years. They should be prepared for everything.
You know a little bit about public relations, no doubt, June Plum. The PNP's highlighting this in Spanish Town was a terrible strategy because hasn't that just brought more people to go and read the book?
Exactly. I'm not really sure. I don't know what.
But by the PNP talking about it, aren't they drawing attention to the